Shop smart, shop S-smart.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of the New Bubba This. I'm your host, DeathMetalHero, and with me, longtime friend of the channel, Mr. Gift Comics. What's going on, Anthony? How you doing, brother?
Chilling, brother. How you been?
Oh, I've been good. Prepping for convention, you know, doing original artwork. I got a Catwoman and the Batman I just finished the other day. Going to the Batman Returns.
I was going to say,
always
looking
one of
like
my favorites.
the Tim Burton style.
Oh, dude, I love those movies, man. Those movies just hit me just right when I was a kid, you know. And this is honestly one of my favorite versions of Catwoman. Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman is honestly one of my favorites. I love that design. You know, that level of darkness that Tim Burton brought. You know, that eerie whimsy, I guess. You know, there was a little bit of the fantastic to Tim Burton's Batman, you know.
Yeah, I love those movies.
Same. But yeah, just prepping for conventions. Matter of fact, I just was actually working on a Poison Ivy before we got started here, and
nice.
these are going to be for sale at Heroes Con next month, and actually in a couple of weeks. But yeah, so that's what I've been up to. What you been up to, man?
Not much. Had some for lack of a better term, family issues going on the last couple of weeks. Otherwise, I'd be getting ready for a con also. I was trying to get a table at Garden State, but once my mind got back into work mode, they were already sold out. So I'm still going to go, you know. I'm still
go check out the con, but don't get a chance to have a table.
Yeah, I found out about. I mean, I went last year; it was great. So I'll go this year. I'll stick a bunch of pariahs in a backpack and sling it to my shoulder,
totally.
and see if I can, you know, get people to buy something while I'm walking around. You know.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I mean, you know, speaking from personal experience, sometimes, you know, being able to have the flexibility to just go into the con and just walk around and talk to people and hand out stuff. I mean, I went down to MegaCon in 2023 and I did my interviews. You know, I talked to people. That was fun. You know, sometimes being stuck at a table, you know, you don't get a chance to talk to as many people. But you know. It is what it is, and being able to hand out cards, be able to you know, drum up interest. You know, sometimes that can be more beneficial. You know, you don't have the money out of pocket aside from just the ticket that you bought. You know, you don't have to pay. I mean, so it may work out just fine for you, man. You know?
Yeah, and it'll be fun. A lot of people who went last year are going to be there again this year, so we'll all hang out, you know, during and after and stuff like that. So it'll be cool. Cool.
You got to see Graham Nolan and the crew last time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully I'll maybe even get a chance to share a steak that I did finish, contrary to what the rumors Matt tries to spread out there. I did finish my steak. Maybe I'll get a chance to.
Well, you got to videotape it this time. You know,
yes.
you got to videotape it this time. That way, you know, you got video proof. You know, all these rumors and lies and AI horse shit. You know, you know what? Just live stream it. That way, nobody can deny that you ate the whole thing.
That's it. We call it Steakgate. I said Elasmat's got to show up, and we're gonna have a head-to-head. We're gonna get the biggest steaks they got, and we're gonna see who finishes. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, you get one of them giant fucking tomahawks, and I see those things. I'm like, you know what? I could totally fucking polish off an entire one of those things in one sitting.
I think so too.
Yeah,
it's more bone than it is meat.
I mean, there's a lot of bone in that. Yeah. So I don't know, man. I would like to find one, but I keep hearing that there are better cuts of meat. It's just there's a large quantity of that. So I don't know. I do enjoy a good steak though. I had a ribeye earlier today. with some sautéed mushrooms and onions. It was delicious.
Nice. Yeah, well, after we're done here, I'll be grilling up a ribeye as well. So.
Hell yeah, dude. That's awesome. Yeah, you've been telling me about your adventures in going to Lowe's. And yeah, it's Murphy's Law. You know, you try to go do a quick errand, and it always turns into, a not quick errand because, Murphy is a bastard. So, well, let's go ahead and say hi to the chat. Got my lovely lady who, speaking of steak, my lady can cook up a damn fine steak. She's better at grilling steak than I am. I'm just saying. Yeah, it's all beautiful.
Bold words.
Oh no, she has got amazing skills. She used to own restaurants, so and former bartender. So I mean, she knows what's up. She's got mad skills, and some of the best steaks I've ever eaten have been ones that she's cooked for me. So she's saying, hey. Bob says, good luck on the stream, sir. I'm going to go take a nap. Well, Bob, thank you for stopping by and saying hi. I appreciate that. You enjoy your nap, sir. But, all right. So for those that don't know, I guarantee that most people in my audience, and you're most welcome, baby. It is very true. For most people in my audience, I'm sure know who you are. But why don't you introduce yourself a little bit? Like, what do you do, man?
What do I do? Well, in my personal life, I too am a bartender. Was in the restaurant business basically all my life. Management, the whole nine. Went back to bartending for private events and haven't turned back. I love it.
There you go. Private events are the way to go.
Yeah, you know you're making money when you work. It's not like, oh, it's Tuesday. Am I only going to make $40? No, you know what I mean.
Is this going to be worth my time? Yeah.
Yeah. So, and everybody's happy to be there unless it's a repass, so,
yeah.
And, other than that, I'm a musician and an artist and, most recently a, small indie comic book publisher.
Hell yeah. Indie's the way to go, man.
And a YouTuber, apparently. So.
You know what? It's kind of part of this whole thing, being in this indie sphere. We're not just writers. We're not just artists. We're not just we wear all these different hats. We've got to do a bunch of different things. We're personalities. We have to sell ourselves as much as the books that we're working on, the artwork that we're working on. It's about the personalities, and We've got to be, I guess, approachable. We've got to be able to interact with people, and we've got to be able to talk to people. And I've seen more than a few of your streams, and you're able to do that, man. You've managed to be able to be a middle ground for some people. Allow conversations that may not have happened otherwise, and sometimes that works out. Sometimes people just like to bitch. And it is what it is, man. It's the internet. Yeah. There's ain't a whole lot you can do about that sometimes. But trying to be a peacemaker instead of a shit stirrer, I think is a much better thing to do.
Yeah. Well, I was talking with Gooch from Diabolical Souls last night, and we were talking about the drama aspect of where we're at and stuff, and it's like, we're a long way from terrestrial cable. You know what I mean? Like, Bill Maher right now is selling a book, and so he's making the rounds. He's going on the talk shows and the night, late night shows and stuff.
Right.
That's basically like what we do here, right? That part of the
Absolutely.
Marketing is making the rounds, and we're all each individual talk show. Me for other people, you for me currently, and
man,
and stuff like that. The difference being is, there's this power social, like where we're all peers, right? It's not like a big star showing up on Johnny Carson, right? Like we're all peers, so there's gonna be difference of opinion sometimes. There's a parasocial aspect of we actually have our audience right here talking with us.
Oh yeah, we get direct interaction.
Yeah, Jimmy Kimmel doesn't, right? So they sit there, they talk about whatever, they talk about the book, show's over, and the people at home change the channel. But
Exactly.
here, if you don't sometimes talk about what the audience is yelling at you to talk about, it can create derision, and it's just it's a natural aspect. Now the thing is, you could either be part of that and shit stir, or you could hopefully try to mediate it, and at the same time you can also not harp on it, and you know what I mean, and like, make it part of your life every day. And I choose to not look down, so to speak, you know.
Make art, not drama. I agree, Feline. Absolutely. You know, art will last, you know, for decades, for generations. Art will have impact on people's lives. Drama is here for a temporary dopamine hit, and then it's gone. You know, it disappears. Drama doesn't last.
It's literally like a drug. Like you're looking for the next issue, the topic, right? Like when if you're literally living just to either cause or watch drama, you're literally looking for the next fix, because eventually the current drama gets old, and even the audience gets bored of it, and then they want something new. And you know,
and who wants to live like an addict looking for the next fix? You know, looking for the next hit. I mean, that is no way to live. That way lies madness and you know, an unhappy life. You know, I would much rather focus on the things that I love and enjoy, the stories that I enjoy. You know, even and you know, being fans, we will complain about certain things. We'll talk about it, but harping on it, I feel like is where we run into the problem. You know, constantly harping on things like that, it gets old, and at some point, like you said, even the audience is going to get tired of that shit eventually. You know, so you got to find something that's actually sustainable. And I don't know if you've noticed this, but people really love talking about things that they love. Like, you get somebody talking about something they really enjoy, something that really sparks that creative interest in them, they light up. You know, they get animated about it. They will talk about it forever. They'll talk your ear off about it, you know, if it's something they're really passionate about.
In my case, I will talk. You know, you'll have to stop me. You know, like if we start talking about music or comic books, I forget it. Like you'll have to be like, "Ed, shut up! I gotta get a word in." You know?
No, exactly. And I would much prefer to have those type of conversations, because whenever I have those type of conversations, I always feel more jazzed. I feel more, you know, excited to work on the things that I'm working on. You know, to get back to work making the book that I'm making. You know, making the artwork. You know, and that's the kind of I don't know, that's the kind of person that I want to be. That's the kind of show that I want to run. That's the kind of energy I want to put back into the world. You know, I want to be part of building this up instead of, you know, focusing on the bullshit. You know, and that's why I do this show. That's why I have people come on and talk about the books that they're putting out and, you know, the stuff that they're making. We got to focus on the fun aspect of this. I mean, this is fucking comics, for God's sake. This is supposed to be fun. If you're not having fun while making comics, you're fucking doing it wrong, you know?
Seriously.
We're telling stories. We're here to entertain an audience. And, you know, sometimes the audience enjoys the drama, and that's fine. They can, but there's so fucking much of that on the internet these days. Like, I know. Maybe like, do something a little different.
Even when I'm talking about like when we like on Slumlords, when we talk about like pop culture stuff, like it's not like to sit there and hammer it home and try to make like my business out of it. Like, and I'm not down, you know, dissing anybody who's done that. They've built their channels on like Captain Marvel and Star Wars and stuff like that. We need people out there talking about it, like, you know what I mean, and bringing in new eyes, like people who are getting red pilled every day. I got red pilled 7 years ago. Right, so yeah, for me, maybe watching Yellow Flash, even though I love Yellow Flash, we have a personal relationship. We're you know, I would consider him a friend. I might not. Same thing with Tug. I might not watch their show, like their videos every day, because I've seen those videos, but new people haven't. So they need to be out there on the front line, right?
Sure.
But
what's up, Jason? Jason says Anthony must not be having fun.
I'm always having fun, man. Well, last week it was a little rough, but what you call it? You know, but when I talk about it, it's to make a joke. Like I want to joke. I want to point out the stupidity, joke around about it with a couple of buddies, move on to the next topic, right? And then you know, unless there's a follow up or something blows up, like you know, within the week between shows, I don't talk about it again. You know what I mean? Like that's it. I made my joke. We had fun, and that was it. You know.
Absolutely.
Because I don't want to sit there and harp on like, oh, The Last Jedi. Yes, The Last Jedi sucked and it red pilled me and blah blah blah. And I, grateful for that aspect of it. But can I talk about Absolute? You know what I mean? Like,
right. Let's talk about all the cool shit that's coming out of the indies. I mean, I'm right there with you, man. I was working. I started working at my LCS in 2015, and granted, I stopped working there in, I guess it was 2022, August of 2022. God, I can't believe it's almost been 2 years. But I literally watched the mainstream industry just kind of stumble and then crumple and fall and implode in on itself. And I would have people come into the shop and they're like, yeah, I'm watching all these Marvel movies with my kids, and like I want to get back into comics because I used to read them when I was younger, and like, what's good now? And I'm just like, nothing up on the wall. But there's a lot of really cool indie shit coming out on the internet right now. So, and I can't say that because, I'm in a comic shop. I've got to try to actually sell this stuff. So I would end up recommending older things, like old trades or, back issues from, Mark Millar, Chris Claremont, people that actually know how to write things. There were a couple of things that were worth recommending to people, but, by and large, most of the mainstream shit was just that shit. It was terrible. Indie comics is where it's at.
Worst marketing, I shouldn't even say marketing. It was the worst lack of marketing or usage of marketing Marvel ever did. You had billion-dollar movies up on the screen and new people, like you said, coming in, and they go to grab Iron Man and they have Riri Williams. They go to grab
it's not Iron
Captain
Man.
America. Yeah,
that's not Captain America.
They go to grab Thor.
Who the hell's this chick? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. No, I know. And it was terrible. And all those books were poorly written during that time as well. That's the other thing. Is like if they had written them well, then it might have been a different story. They might have gotten new readers that were like, okay, well, I'm not seeing the movie versions, but I might this might be fun to watch. No, they were just poorly written, so it kind of turned people off, and they kind of dug their own grave, for lack of a better term. They kind of they made it so people didn't want to pick up the books, and the movies are slowly but surely going down that same path. It's like the comics dug a hole and the movies are jumping in after them.
Just stumbling right in.
Yeah. We'll see how Deadpool Wolverine goes. It looks pretty interesting. Yeah. Ryan Reynolds has a good track record. Disney does not. Ryan Reynolds does,
Yeah.
Jason says, Luke said if you're not having fun doing comics, then you're doing it wrong. Get it? So funny. Yeah.
Hunting Alice is coming, Jason.
But wait, I actually have that. Hang on. There we go.
Like the drama or the beefs I like are the fun ones that I have with like Doc when we're working on like his books, or like like I'm inking Lightbringer 2, Dean James is penciling.
Yep.
And I just did 2 pages, and like we were talking in DMs, and I was like, "I hate you," by the way. And he's like, "Why?" And I'm like, "You made me put a friggin' logo on 22 boxes of cereal in a store aisle."
You asshole. Yeah. See, I'm penciling and inking, so I have nobody to blame but myself. So I'm starting. I think about that as I'm laying out pages. And
I learned with Hunting Alice, no more stairs in any of the comic books I ever draw again. No, never doing stairs again.
The next page that I have to work on in Mercenary Guild actually has a bunch of stairs. It's going to be it's going to be an interesting page. I think people are going to like it, and especially if I can if I can pull it off correctly. I mean, the pencil page looks good, but tightening it up and getting it inked and making it look like a finished page, sometimes things change a little bit along the way, so we'll see. But
and the perspective,
it's a full page too. It's a full page splash, so it'll be an interesting one. But I'm having a lot of fun working on this book, man.
Mine was one of those huge mansion ones with like you walk into the foyer with the big chandelier and the balcony, like the second floor is visible.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
got the two winding staircases that
come down into the foyer. Yeah.
Oh, dude, the perspective on that drove me nuts.
Well, sometimes you gotta go for it. You just gotta if it's what the shot needs, if it's what the story calls for, you gotta do it. And so
yeah.
Sometimes that's the way it goes.
Never again. A lot of elevators and escalate. A lot of elevators in my next books. So.
Everything is shot from an angle where you can't see the stairs, but it'll still make sense. Yes, 100%. Yeah. So that's Hunting Alice is your book that you wrote and penciled and did the artwork for. So that was all you. But you're currently publishing other people's stuff right now. How did you get into that?
Technically, the writer was Aubrey Miletio. Other people might know her as Mistress Roulette from Deep Comicsgate lore. But yes, it is my book. I'm drawing, editing. She did the story. I'm doing the scripting, or we're both kind of scripting and stuff like that. So that is technically it's my book, but I'm not 100% the sole creator on it. What got me into publishing other people's books? Good question. I got an email from Iron Liz, Elizabeth Scocho. People might know if you've been on the internet. I wasn't a big internet guy back in the day, so I didn't know about Channel Awesome and Linkara and the original Lightbringer webcomic. I got schooled in that, but I got an email from this Liz Scocho asking if I would publish her comic. Because she didn't want to be canceled, she didn't have an internet presence, this, that, and the other thing. And I thought it was a troll at first. I'm feeling it out.
I mean, it's the internet, so like you do.
Yeah. So, and it turned out she was legit, and she, we talked, and she explained the whole Channel Awesome thing and Linkara and this comic and how it went. He got so panned and he got so angry for being associated with this horrible comic that he put it into public domain, and she has this way better retelling of the story. Mm-hmm. She let me see some of the script. Actually, she let me see all the script, which was pretty much a mistake on her part. I could have ran off with it, if you know what I mean. But I told her, I said, if you ever leave with me and go somewhere else, don't ever do that again.
Yeah, just a word to the wise: don't give away the whole story at the beginning. Yeah,
yeah. But it was a great script. The way she kind of fleshed it out. At first, even Neff from Global Frequency, when he first read the first Lightbringer, he was asking, he's like, is this a commentary on capitalism versus socialism? And I was like, no, it's not. I was like, but I thought the same thing when I read the script. The way she does it, she sucks you in thinking, like, where is this going? And it turns out it's just more about like the benefits of capitalism and corporate greed with a little bit of a supernatural twist. So anyway, she hit me up, and I sat and I thought, I said, am I ready for this? I haven't even put out my first book yet, you know what I mean? But if I actually had it lined up, like, okay, I'll be finished with this will go out, and then we could start the campaign for this, and then So I said, all right, yeah. I thought about a conversation I had with my sister where her and my brother-in-law were like, oh, we're not ready for kids and blah, blah, blah. And, and I remember saying to them, if you guys keep saying you're not ready, you're never going to be ready.
Mm-hmm. Right? Like, there really is no ever being fully ready. Life doesn't allow that. Murphy's Law doesn't allow that. So sometimes you just got to jump in.
I took my own advice. So I jumped in with it, and then Doc saw what I was doing with Liz, and he was new to the scene. He's not very technically savvy. And same thing. He's like, I just want to write and draw my stories. He's like, can you, So, boom, next thing you know, I got him under my belt, and actually have two others lined up to be part of the Dark Give Comics they'll have their own imprints, just like Doc. Doc has Rampart Studios.
But you add them to the stable.
Yeah, Stephen B. with Bullcat Studios will be joining Dark If Comics, and Billy
That's
Powermax will be joining Dark If Comics. So
right on.
yeah.
What's up, Jabba? Welcome. He says, excuse me. Why aren't we all using Nick Rekieta as a battle axe? Nick's got his own battles to fight, and he'll use himself as a battle axe. I'm pretty sure. He's got his own internet stuff to do.
Plus
that would be my guess, anyway.
Weighs like 80 pounds soaking wet. I don't think he would do much damage swinging Nick Rekieta around.
He's pretty tall and lanky, from what I understand.
Is he tall? He seems short.
Oh no! I think that's just his the way he has his video set up. I think he's
angle,
like I think he's like 6'2", same height as me. But,
oh wow!
Yeah. So okay, at least that's what I think anyway. I'm not 100% sure. Internet, feel free to correct me. So, speaking of things that you're publishing, we're here to talk about A Damn Dirty Thing, a Pariah story, and this is a story by Doc Blaylock.
Yeah. Doc Blaylock, awesome dude and really talented. I mean, he's a fine artist, but he also did dabbled with comics back in the '90s in the indie scene. And
he's doing stuff with Rex as well, Devil Flyer. He's
done some stuff for Rex.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's awesome. So this is now there's a comic book and a novella. Is that what I'm seeing here? That's pretty damn cool.
Yep, and if we hit 4,000, there'll be an audiobook version of the novella for folks like.
Oh shit!
You know,
see, audiobooks is where I'm at. I love audiobooks, man. That's actually the only way I can get novels in anymore, is because of is audiobooks. You know, because I've got a fucking stack of comic books to read, and comic books are a visual medium. If I'm going to sit down and like actually read something, like, you know, in my hands, look at it, read it, it's gonna be a comic book, just because I've got such a backlog of things to read. It's ridiculous. But novels, audiobooks, man, I can listen to those while I'm working on artwork. You know,
yeah.
As a matter of fact, I just finished. Let's see, what was it called? I've just finished a couple of Larry Correia mini novels. He's the dude that wrote Monster Hunter International. There were the Lost Colony novellas, and they're pretty good. And then, you know, another Lost Earth series is pretty good as well. You know, that's the only way I can get audiobooks in. Or that's the only way I can get novels in is audiobooks, and I love it because I can listen to them while I'm doing the dishes, while I'm mowing the lawn, while I'm on a road trip. I mean, it's great.
A lot of people like them. Yeah, we did it with more like honestly, we did it with Fanta in mind.
There you go. Yeah,
vision,
yeah.
So
how about the visually impaired? Yeah, for sure.
You know. Folks like her. I mean, Jason's got. I mean, Jason blows my mind with his eyes, and then he could just draw the way he does. So it's like, fuck you, man. Excuse my language. I don't know.
Muscle memory
on here.
There's a reason why I've got a parental advisory adult content warning at the top, and you don't have to worry about your language here.
I know Topicless is a different story, but like,
well, yeah, it's a little later in the evening, but yeah, no, my entire channel is labeled not for kids. Okay. And Java says Doc is okay. I'm pretty sure he doesn't touch kids, so that's a bonus. Yeah, it's a damn good bonus. Because fuck those type of people. In the face with a pineapple grenade.
You know what? You don't get an audiobook, Jason.
Yep.
That's it. You're out.
Guess Doc can keep his hands then. Exactly. We don't tolerate that shit around here, ever.
Yeah. So
no
Doc,
sympathy.
I mean, Doc is so cool that like he's with everything that's been going on, with having to like redo certain things because of certain people.
Right.
With the issues I had that were blocking me from finishing Hunting Alice that are all now done. But now I'm like, I got my hands full with all these different other projects. Doc is even stepping up and doing layouts and not technically finishes. I mean, I'll go in and I'll finish them, but like he's basically like I do the layouts and then he's doing the I guess the sketch, the rough sketches and filling everything in. So this way, all I have to do is go in and literally take the ink and just.
Okay, so you're Yeah, kind of doing breakdowns and finishes, but you're sharing duties on the breakdowns. You've got the general idea. He comes in and tightens it up, and then you go in and you ink it. So yeah, breakdowns, finishes, and then inks. So that's cool. That's awesome. Yeah. You know, and that's the one of the things that I love about this indie scene. There's so much talent in this sphere, in this indie scene. There's so much talent, and you know, the good parts of this scene really come together and they help each other. You know, it's really cool to see, you know, artists come together and help one another, and you know, building each other up, building up this indie sphere instead of breaking each other down. You know, I think that's an amazing thing.
When all that other craziness went down at the end of February with He Who Shall Not Be Named, Dillard, Quaff, and Pete, like literally that night, basically all agreed to help me out and redo certain covers that I had to replace. You know?
Yeah. Well,
and
good.
Dillard and Quaff did them Dillard drew his in 12 hours. Yeah. On stream, you know, and got it, and he's gonna color it too. So, for Lightbringer 2, and Quaff did his within a week, and Pete did his within a week and a half, doing both the pencils and colors. So
that's awesome.
And I got the original artwork here already. I have it here. So
that's awesome.
Somebody had backed the original artwork tier for that particular cover. So
okay, so that was crucial to get that one taken care of. And Jabba is clearly upset that you didn't mention him because Quaff is his slave after all. I don't want to know how that works out, Jabba. But you know whatever you and Quaff have worked out, that's fine. And we don't mention Dickbag's name ever. So,
but this story is friggin'. I'm excited. Doc is super excited for this. I'm really excited. I love Pariah, the Pariah story, because originally.
Now, what is the Pariah story about? Because I'm not familiar.
All right, so Pariah was originally going to be one big book, and then the economy took a dumper, and you know we got a fledgling. Publishing house that basically had 2 books under the belt, one of them being late. So that was and then you got this creator who no one's ever heard of, new to the scene. So like, how do you get someone to put $35 down on a 100-page book? You don't, you know what I mean? Not in this economy. No one's going to take that chance, you know? So we broke it up into a trilogy. So to make it more affordable. And, you know, Pariah Blood and Mud successfully funded and fulfilled. Basically, Excellent. It's the story of Elizabeth Payne, the young lady you see there on the cover.
Right.
She works for a bar that's owned by the Russian mafia.
Oh, damn. Okay.
And she witnesses a hit, goes to the cops. They hunt her down and basically give her one hell of a night. They beat her, do other things, and then basically slice her throat and leave her for dead.
Jesus.
Yeah.
That sounds like the Russian mafia. Yep.
That 3-page scene was the most we saved that for last, and it takes place in the beginning of the book. It was the most brutal to draw, ink, and I helped ink that one and letter. I'm
sure.
We actually even cut dialogue out because we didn't want to make it seem like some kind of fantasy. Like it was just we're already brutalizing this woman. We don't need to degrade her verbally, too. So it was.
It's a fine line to walk doing scenes like that. You got to get the point across, but at the same time, you don't need to make it gratuitous.
Yeah, and I think art-wise, it was tastefully done. It was there was hardly any nudity aspect to it. It was very silhouette. Kind of lead your mind there, but without actually showing a lot of it.
Right.
But it was brutal. When we were done with those 3 pages, we was like, all right, we're taking a week off, and we're just we'll come back to this next week.
That's understandable. Well.
And so anyway, her grandfather, they're Romanian. Her grandfather creates this golem to go rescue her and bring her home to heal.
Nice.
And then trains her in she's a descendant of an ancient a very powerful lineage of witches, powerful witches.
Hell yeah.
And she basically trains, so he's training her to defend herself so this never happens again.
Right.
She's kind of going crazy and decides she's going to go on a revenge spree. And even though their powers are the same, they're from the bloodline, we represent them visually differently because his is coming from love and hers is coming from hate. The first book ends with her getting ready, like she finally leaves the house, goes to the store, runs into a high school friend. He hugs her, kind of grabs her ass. She vaporizes him, and then she's ready to go back to the city. It's like her mind just totally snaps, and then Sanctum of Hate takes place with her going back to the city to start her trail of revenge. So that's the next book coming out from Doc after this one.
Okay. And so I've seen that you can get the novella, the comic book, and the Blood and Mud. So where does a damn dirty thing play into the overall Pariah story?
Okay, so you can actually, if you didn't get Pariah and you don't feel like it, you don't have to. You can actually get a damn dirty thing, because other than the epilogue, the last like 2 or 3 pages, has nothing to do with Pariah. So basically, Jake Bishop is a private detective, and he's your typical private detective. Your wife's cheating on you, somebody's, whatever, blah, blah, blah. He takes on all those kinds of small cases. He just also happens to dabble in magic. There's different forms of magic in Doc's world. Also, we don't really mention it so much in Pariah, but if you actually go back and look, the aesthetics of the 1940s haven't gone away. It's modern day, but the aesthetics of the 1940s are still there. They have all our technology. Computers aren't called computers, though. They're called data types. They have different names for it. It's like a parallel universe. So in this story is the introduction of Jake, because when we split it up into the trilogy, certain things had to get changed, and one of the scenes had to get cut. Right. Which was basically the introduction of Jake. So we were like, how do we tell that without a bunch of exposition? Because we already did that in book 1 with just how magic works. Elizabeth and her grandfather's magic works. We had like 1 page with a lot of bubbles. Right. But we had to do it that way because we're like, let's just tell it how it works, and then this way it's there.
Right. And sometimes you just got to get it out there and get it out of the way so you can tell the rest of the story.
Right. We didn't want to do that again in Sanctum of Hate. So Doc, originally this was going to be like a 12-page zine, not an ashcan, but it was going to be a normal size, but and it turned into a floppy. So this is basically an introduction to who Jake is. Jake's the kind of guy that he always gets his man. Like he's just always out for justice. Got to get the bad guy. Nice. In this one, we meet up with Jake about 8 weeks after his attempted murder, or 8 months. 8 months after his attempted murder, by an Italian mob boss. Took a hit out on him, blew up his office. He survived, but his partner and his secretary died. So now he's kind of pissed. So he's trying to track this guy down and bring him to justice. And along the way he meets Portia Vance, who's the little fiery vixen on the cover there. Which that cover we modeled after a 1947 noir movie called Born to Kill.
Yeah, I saw the little note down here at the bottom, homage to the film. And
horrible movie, but awesome poster.
Well, sometimes not everything was a gem back in the day. But yeah, you gotta love the design, and I love noir stories. The actual. The way stories like that are constructed. I was talking about Larry Correia earlier today. He has a book series called Grim Noir, and it's basically like the 1940s, but magic is widely known, and it affects people in certain ways, and there's certain types of magic that people have. You got people that can control gravity. Yeah. Well, I mean, did you ever see that movie Cast a Deadly Spell?
No.
Had the dude, I want to say it was the dude from Tremors, the older dude from Tremors in it. And it's basically got, you've got Howard Philip Lovecraft, which is a detective in this story. So you've got H.P. Lovecraft type storytelling mixed with 1940s noir, and there's like little goblins and gremlins and shit like that. It's a great movie. Love that movie. But Grim Noir is, the World War II happened, but, they had what they call gravity spikers, which are people that can control gravity. You've got, other people, electricity, fire, kind of elemental type stuff. But yeah, I love the mixing of noir and magic, and just that whole aesthetic is very cool. It's a lot of fun. And plus, it allows you to play with like some of the darker aspects. You can pull in that pulp feel. I love old pulp stories.
That was the challenge. Aldous on the Farms, who loves pulp. And dabbles with noir, and Lord Ravener, who loves noir. I challenged us to, because we said we're going to do something pulpy and noirish, and they're like, "You're going to combine pulp and noir?" And I was like, "Yeah." They were like, "Let's see if you could do it." And I was like, boom, challenge accepted. So here
you go.
As Doc was working on it, I was like, so you got the elements of supernatural pulp feel, but this is 100%. This is all noir, right? Those elements are peppered in the pulp and supernatural, but this is 100% noir storytelling at its
excellent
at its finest. Yeah.
It's not an easy thing to do. There's a lot of things that claim to be noir, but they kind of miss some of the points of noir, and the storytelling. I don't want to say cliches, but like what I mean. Like the storytelling aspects of noir, getting those points in, it can be difficult. Blade Runner is a movie that I keep coming back to when I think of noir. The way things are shot, the kind of tone overall. So I'm excited to see what you guys come up with here. What's up, Morb? Good to see you, man. This is the writer and creator of Mercenary Guild. That's why he's got the logo in his name there. Yeah.
So this is basically him trying to solve his own attempted murder case, and then, like I said, the last 2 pages or actually even might be just the last page is an epilogue where, after he's done with this case, I won't reveal what happens and all that stuff, but he's sitting in his office and he gets a phone call about a string of murders that have popped up in the city, and some. I'm not going to reveal how Doc is going to connect who calls him about these murders,
right?
But because you'll find that out in Sanctum of Hate. But there is a phone call to him at the last page. He gets basically hired to go to investigate these murders, which is Elizabeth on her rampage. So this basically takes place concurrently with Pariah Blood and Mud, and even like the first first chapter, so to speak, of Sanctum of Hate, because then he's on the trail. So you get to see, like, if you a completist after Sanctum of Hate, then there'll be a third book, and then Pariah's story is done. And then moving forward, this is his flagship character. Doc is going all in with Jake Bishop. So the next book after that will be called Blood on the Bricks, and so forth. So if you're completist and want all his appearances, you're going to want Sanctum of Hate and the third Pariah book. You might as well grab Blood and Mud too, even though he's not in it, just so you can follow the story.
Oh yeah, it's concurrent storytelling. Yeah.
Yeah. So the nice thing about it is we're going to get to see, like, is Jake going to be like an enemy to Elizabeth or a friend to Elizabeth? Because again, he brings the bad guy down and brings the bad guy to justice.
Right.
Elizabeth is the murderer, but she's also taking out the people who violated
tried
her.
to kill her. Yeah.
So
okay, so we've got a noir story with this one, with the damn dirty thing, and then it's going to lead into the revenge story. It's going to dovetail into Pariah Blood and Mud. That's cool.
Yeah.
So it's filling in the world around Pariah Blood and Mud, and then obviously this is the ground floor for Jake. When his adventures take over, and there's a lot of stuff you can do with a detective and the noir setting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think he, like Doc's already like outlining Blood on the Bricks, and I forget what he said the third book for Jake is going to be, what the title is, but he's already outlining that. This book is already done. Sanctum of Hate is, I think, halfway. The artwork is halfway done for Sanctum of Hate.
That's awesome.
So yeah, like, and the novella, I think he's got like maybe 5 to 10 pages left. The last 5 or 10 pages left to put down, and then that's done. So basically,
that's fantastic.
We're gonna actually, I'm gonna look, because the way we had this set up is this is a storefront, so the money's been coming in. I have it in a separate account strictly for just this project.
Right.
So even though we haven't hit our funding goal, I may just do the print run that we were anticipating and start fulfilling at least the single books and just the catch-up tier, the Pariah and everything.
So this tier basically right here, where you get both the comics, the Pariah Blood and Mud, and then A Damn Dirty Thing. Yeah. So the how many pages is Blood and Mud?
48. 43 story-wise. 44 story-wise.
Okay.
Wow. Yeah, no, it was because they wound up being 48. We had to put a couple of ads in the back because it wound up being like an odd number for the story because we added like a page
you
got
to make sure the printing comes out properly. Yeah, so I get it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And then 20 pages for
and 20 pages for that. So we keep it fairly cheap, $12 for the graphic novel. That's what we did on the first campaign, so we had to keep it there. On the website, before I started revamping the website, when I had the store on there, we were selling the Pariahs for $15 on the website. So
so this is a hell of a deal right here. If you're just looking for the comics and you don't want the novella as well, So I mean, this is just about 70 pages of content here. For only $17, plus shipping. That's a deal. That's a great deal. And if you're invested in the world of Pariah, then this is and again, ground floor for Jake here. It's the beginning of what's going to be his continuing adventures. That's wicked cool, man. So you said he's got at least 3 books planned for Jake after this.
At least. This one, and then the other 2. So there'll be at least 2 more. I'm sure he wants, as long as, he's willing to, to do these, he's going to keep doing them. Yeah. So
that's awesome.
I'm pretty sure, and don't quote me on this, I'd have to ask him, because sometimes Doc likes he'll say something and then like be excited for it, and then the next time I talk to him, he's like, "Yeah, I scrapped that idea," or vice versa. So
the curse of being a creative.
There may be a novella for every. Jake Bishop. So because the novella is just a more detailed, fleshed out story, telling of the comic. Obviously, 20 pages compared to 60. You know what I mean? So
I was going to ask how big the novella was. So there's just more detail, but it's the same story in the novella as in the comic book. It's just writing out descriptions for things that are going on because you're not looking at the the pages. Obviously, it takes up more space.
Yeah, and like a certain scene in the comic, which might be like 1 page with like 5 or 6 panels, we can go into depth and like tell a little bit more to it, like maybe a little bit more to the conversation or a little bit more to the action. Obviously, we get the point across very fine in the comic, but in the novella there might be like some extra things here or there. But it's going to be like the size of like your typical dime store novel, like
nice.
Like the little 4x7.
Adding to the pulp feel.
Yeah. And and there's going to be illustrations in there as well, about 10 of them. So I think
that was my next question.
Yeah, just like like one one illustration or 2 illustrations per chapter or whatever. Yeah. Just nothing like crazy, but like and Doc's getting a few really good artists on board to do some of those illustrations. Like pretty sure we got Dillard locked in for one.
Awesome.
Matt Barr locked in for one.
There you go. Nice.
I'm probably going to do one. And then
Okay.
I feel like he said there was another artist that he got to do one. So there'll probably be at least four different artists, and then Doc will take care of the rest. And they're all
Okay. All right. I was gonna ask if Doc was gonna do any of the illustrations himself as well.
Yeah, and they're all original concept designs. So
Yeah.
they're not going to be replicas of what's in the comic. It's going to be
Okay, so it's going to be different artwork. It's not just going to be reusing what will be seen in the comic. That's cool. I like that.
Yeah.
That gives something unique to the reader. Gives something unique. So if you're into illustrated novellas, go ahead and grab that. I mean, this is the bundle to grab right here. I mean, if you're not going to grab the featured tier, all the way up here at the top and get all of this awesome swag. I mean, you guys got all kinds of shit going on here. What? Tell me what we got going on here. We got the comic novella. We've got a mug.
Always a mug with Doc stuff. Like for Pariah,
Okay.
we have the Pariah mugs, the Pariah Saga. Which will be on every Pariah campaign. We have them in white.
Oh, okay.
And black.
Hey, coffee cups are great, man. They're useful.
I mean, Doc's show is called. He's gonna hate me for not remembering it, but it's.
You're fired.
It's like 1:00, like every day. He does a show called like the Coffee something or other, and he's like
Morning roast or something.
Something like that, yeah.
That might be somebody else's
it's not
show.
morning. Yeah, it's not morning roast, but it's similar to that.
Okay.
And but like Doc, he's your typical elder Gen X, younger boomer guy, coffee and cigarettes. You know what I mean? So this one we're only gonna do the black mug. I think it's fitting for this.
Okay.
So yeah, this is basically if you want everything that's on the campaign, and this and the one below it are both subscription tiers. So anything new, like the audiobook, you'll get it.
Oh, okay. Nice. Okay. So yeah, anything that gets added too.
Yeah, so we have a Damned If You Do, which is this one. Basically, you've never backed Pariah, you want everything. You get the tapestry that was on that campaign, the book.
Yeah, that's pretty rad.
You get the Portia Vance print and 2 sketch cards. All that, and then plus all physical tiers come with digital versions. So you get a digital of
that's
both comics.
A nice perk. Yeah, that's cool.
And the novella, you'll get a digital copy of the novella as well.
That's cool. I mean, it's nice to have digital versions of things. That way, if you want to take it with you, like, see, I love physical books because I like, having books in my hand. But having a digital version to take with you, if you're like going on vacation, you can take a whole library with you.
Yeah.
And so that's nice. Being able to read stuff on a tablet when you're traveling, that is a cool thing.
Yeah, and then you got the Damned. So that's Damned If You Do, and then Damned If You Don't is if you've already backed Pariah but just want all the
new stuff.
All the new stuff. That's this one, and that's $60.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. So we got 95 for the whole kit and caboodle, which is the catch-up and everything. So you get caught up and you get all the cool swag with Pariah. And then this is just a damn dirty thing. You still get the sketch cards and a mug and the print, which is awesome. And then $7 for a comic. That's awesome, man. And it's a black and white book, right?
But yeah.
Well, I mean, hey, this is indie comics, man. You gotta make at least a little bit of money so you can keep going.
Right.
We're not producing these in the mass quantities to get the price breaks that the bigger publishers get. So this is indie comics. It's boutique items.
Eventually, I'd like to get to the point where I do large enough print runs, even if we don't sell that many on the campaigns, because then I want to where I can get if it's less than 32 pages, like say 28 pages or less.
Right.
I'd like to be able to do $4 for a physical. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's on par with most stuff. I mean, hell, a lot of the stuff that's coming out in the comic shops now is at least $5-6 for an issue, and they're barely doing 22 pages. So
Yeah.
Right. All right, $9 for the novella. That's actually about on par with a paperback book about that same size. The 4x7. So that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, we couldn't go much cheaper on that. The cut and everything like that for the paper and stuff was a little more pricier than your typical comic book.
Well,
which is
again, this is indie publishing. We don't have the infrastructure that some of these bigger companies do. But you know what? Supporting buying a book like this supports an indie publisher. This supports somebody building a dream instead of supporting some big corporate fucking schlock. So that's where your money's going.
If we did it was weird. If you did your typical size novel, like the 5x8, was cheaper than doing the 4x7. But we wanted to keep that pulp feel. So
because they had to cut it to a custom size. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Let's see. All right, so we're scrolling down here, and there's digital versions of everything. If you just want to read it, and you don't have a whole lot of scratch, you can get the digital versions.
Yeah, overseas. I mean, the 3 books, the 20
shipping is a pain in the ass.
That's also my favorite, the $25 one. It's one of my favorites, other than the other two, because like I said, a lot of people are selling one book for like $20, $25, $30,
You're
$35.
3.
You're getting 3, yeah. The digital version of that is 10.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And that's fucking awesome. If you're overseas and shipping is a nightmare for you, which we know it is. Go ahead and grab that. And what's up, Paul dear? Thanks for stopping by, man. Appreciate you being here. And we got Pops. Back this book, bitches, he says. Yeah,
up,
that's
Pops?
right. Support indie publishers, man. All right, so we've got a mug, the new mug for this new campaign, $18, which is that's about what you pay for a custom mug like that.
Yeah, people were going, the swag is more expensive than the books. I'm like, well, first of all, I could guarantee this. On this mug, everything about this mug is United States. The mugs are made here.
That's awesome. Yep.
The lady who does the sublimation is literally neighbors with Doc. She does it out of her house.
Excellent. Okay. Right on.
And then the materials she gets, for the most part, as far as she knows, they're all that she uses for the sublimation are actually made here in the States as well. So
fantastic.
As far as
Love
I
it.
can tell, 99.9% positive, this is strictly all United States
made in the USA and custom made by somebody that is another small business. The more that we can shop local and support small businesses that are nearby, absolutely, that's the way to go. And Pops says there will be no Doc campaign without coffee mugs.
Yeah,
well, there we
exactly.
go.
Just like there's like this is actually technically the first campaign without an original tapestry, because there's usually not a Dark Give Comics one without a tapestry. But Doc didn't want to do a tapestry for this at first, but now he's kind of excited. So if we hit 3,500, we're gonna do a 24 by 30. It won't be blacklight responsive because we're gonna just do the cover, which is black and white.
Right.
But even the blacklight ones that I do, you don't even need the blacklight for. I mean, they're beautiful. So if we hit 3,500, there will be a 24 by 36 satin tapestry that we'll throw on. And if you back one of the first two, the damned if you do or the damned if you don't, obviously subscription tiers, you'll get that added to your order.
I mean, all the more reason to get those two top 2 tiers if you can. And I'm a big fan of mugs and coffee. I mean, I'm drinking my coffee out of a Stein here, but
it's basically just a nice big fancy mug.
basically, yeah. And I like the fact that it's an 11-ounce mug instead of just like the usual 8-ounce mug.
Yeah.
So yeah, the coffee mugs are awesome. I agree.
Yeah, this
Feline,
one actually.
Yeah, Feline knows how much I love coffee mugs, and she does too. I made her a coffee mug with her logo on it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
This will be double-sided. We've changed the business card for Jake because his partner's name was Donovan, but like we actually have a quote-unquote business card for Jake, so it'll be that on there instead, and obviously the logo for the book on the other side. So
awesome. Hell yeah. Cool. I mean, I have a collection of coffee mugs. I mean, so I totally get it. I love coffee mugs, and you are most welcome, my love. I'm glad that you love that mug. It was a lot of fun to make.
Yeah.
And then this is the tapestry that you guys can get if you want for just $25.
This was on the first campaign for Pariah, so we put it on here as well for people who might just want to buy that.
That's a big tapestry too. That's a movie poster size, 24 by 36. That's big.
Yeah, they're easy to ship. You just fold them up, and the wrinkles come out when you hang them on the wall. And,
nice. Looks like they got grommets in them, so you can easily hang them.
Yep. And here's the thing: when we're talking about supporting local businesses, I can't guarantee that this, or even the hats that we had for Lightbringer 2, the Make Lightbringer Great Again hats, that all the materials are USA made. But I can say that, like, for the tapestries, I use two brothers. They have a small company up in New York, just outside, about a half hour north of the city. So if I wanted to, I could drive up. I could take a 2-hour drive and go pick them up. But they ship them. You know, they're usually I put the order in. It takes about a week to make and ship, and I usually have them within a week. It's beautiful. The hats I get made at a store right down the highway from me, about 5 minutes away. They do all the local high school like uniforms and stuff.
Excellent.
You know, for the baseball teams and stuff.
Yeah, man.
So we try to use local. Small businesses, if we can. I even tried to look up some local printers, but like unfortunately they couldn't beat the prices that you can find online. So until we need a bigger print run, I'll be using the online printers. So
yeah, I mean that's maybe further on down the line, some of these smaller businesses will get a little bit bigger and they can they get better production quality and they'll be able to do more. But they can't. Small businesses can't grow unless people support said small business. So I like the fact that you're doing what you can to support smaller businesses and help them grow, man. So that's fantastic. I love it. I love hearing that. All right, and then at the bottom here we've got original artwork, and you get the book with it.
Yep, we just added those to 2 pages of 2 original art pages. So these are pages that are in the book. Those are actually the 2 pages too. That
nice.
If you back one, it's first come first serve.
Right.
So whoever backs first will allocate which one that we feel is the cooler one, and then the second person will get the second one. And if they sell, we'll add more as we go. You know what I mean?
Right.
So.
That's right. Well, see, there you go. So jump in on that if you're looking to get some original artwork. I know you folks out there, and if you guys are watching the replay, I know you guys out there love original artwork. I've seen it on the auctions and whatnot. So jump on this before somebody else. That way you get a pick of the litter, as it were. This is cool, man. I'm excited for Doc. I'm excited for you. This is a cool looking campaign, man. There's not enough noir stuff out in the world. So I'm glad that you're contributing to that.
And we tried to keep everything affordable. Like you can see, there's nothing over 100. I mean, obviously with shipping, but there's nothing over $100 right there.
Right.
Which means like we need to sell a lot to get to our goal, which is only 2,500. We're 63.4% of the way there. So
nice.
And I had to take about a week and a half off of the promotional circuit because of some personal issues.
Right.
But that's the beauty of Fund My Comic is you get to open it up into the storefront, and there's no 30-day limit or 60-day limit. Like we can push this and get on as many shows and not have to like be a pain in the ass to the people. Like I don't have to hit you up. Like I didn't have to hit you up 150 times. Like don't forget about me. Don't forget about me. Don't forget.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like. Yeah. I can be like, hey Luke, come on, yeah, sure. And then if I don't hear from you in like 2 or 3 weeks, I can be like, hey Luke, can I still come on? You know what I mean? Like, I have that flexibility to like not be a pain in the ass. So.
Yeah, no, and I like the fact that Fund My Comic makes it easier for creators to host their stuff and to easily transition into a storefront. It makes it easier for creators to not only get the word out there, but to have a concentrated place that's just about this kind of thing. That's just about comics and magazines and tabletop gaming. You get lost in the shuffle on Indiegogo and Kickstarter, And, having something that is specifically about making comics, so people can browse through. I think it's a fantastic thing, and I'm super proud of Luke for,
for what he did.
this, for what he did, man. It's fantastic, and I can't wait to see more success. I'm glad people are using it. It's catching fire, man. I love seeing it.
I will say this: we experimented with going direct to storefront, which, like I
Right.
said, gives us all the flexibility to get on shows and stuff like that, and promote and not have to worry about time limits. That being said, we did it as an experiment. I might not do that. I might do the funding first and then transition to storefront, like you were just mentioning, because
Right.
you kind of do lose that sense of urgency with the backers. Like they could be like, I'm getting a lot I'll back you after I back this one because they're going to be closing soon. So
Right.
you don't get those big pushes because of it. But again, we did it as an experiment, and thankfully it's not an experiment that's going to backfire on us. It's just like I said, it's you lose that intensity for like we had a big launch, and then like everybody's like, oh, you're going to be open forever? All right, no problem. Well, I'll come back.
Right.
To you
They just put it off then. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, see, and that's part of the crowdfunding thing, man. It's you gotta pick and choose based on who's going to be closing, when it's going to be available, because a lot of times these things are just not available. After a certain point. So yeah, and it's always a learning experience, man. There's always something new to learn when it comes to this crowdfunding thing and this indie comics thing. It's a whole new frontier. Even though it seems to be like well documented territory at this point, there's always something new to learn.
There's always new things coming out. Like they're always like even the Kickstarters and Indiegogos always add new features and new this and new that. So it's like. You try certain things out. Like I said, thankfully, this is an experiment that, isn't going to backfire in our face where we're going to lose out. It's just going to take us a little longer because we're going to have to tell people, like, that's why I'm thinking about doing the print run and getting some of the single issues out, because if people start seeing us fulfilling as we go, they might be more apt to, oh, wow, that guy's got the book in his hand. I don't want to do it too soon, though, because I don't want spoilers out there, before because we want to get to the 4,000 stretch goal to get that audiobook, because we have just the 3 stretch goals. 3,000, we get a Porsche Vance trading card to match. If you signed up, there was a very Frank Miller-esque silhouette spot red trading card by Tanner Hurley. So all the signups get that, and that'll be on sale on the website after the campaign. I always mark those up pretty dramatic, so it's always nice to sign up and then back to get any of the trading cards, because I do sell those exclusives. I will sell the exclusives eventually on the website,
but they're going to be marked up. Yeah.
They're like $10, like compared to 3 for like the other trading cards that are just easily accessible on the campaigns. So 3,000
it pays to sign up.
Yeah. Everybody gets a Porsche, at 3,000, everybody will get a Porsche Vance trading card. 3,500 will add the tapestry to the campaign for purchase. Obviously, subscription tiers will get it added to their order. 4,000, we do the audiobook, which there is a sample on the campaign, which people can go listen to.
Nice.
It's about a 7-minute. I mean, it's a rough cut. Doc will not be doing the female voices. We actually have cast members lined up to do.
There you go.
Doc will do the narration, but in this, it's just Doc doing all the voices.
Right.
With the music, and I added the sound effects, and I'll be doing the mastering on the audio.
Oh, so it's like a radio play almost, more than just an audio book. I dig that, and that actually plays into the whole 1940s, kind of pulp noir feel too. I dig it, man. I really hope you guys get there. I want to hear it.
and then if we get there and I can get everything all lined up, not only will you get a standalone, digital copy of that if you purchase it. Obviously, that will also be added to the subscription tiers. If I can, and I can get it all, I will get it into Audible and get codes for people who had made purchases.
Nice.
and send them Audible codes so that they can download it or add it to their library for free if they have an Audible library. So
yeah, heck yeah, dude, that's awesome.
Yeah,
I love it, man. I hope you guys get there. I'm a big fan of audiobooks and radio plays, so I want to hear it. But we've been going for a little over an hour now. Is there anything else you want to? Oh, when are you guys planning to fulfill? You did say that you were going to thinking about printing some of these up. When are you wanting to fulfill?
I would like to, as long as we hit, I would like to hit the goal and be fulfilling by before the summer's over.
Oh, wow. Okay, that quickly. Nice.
Yeah.
Quick
I'd like to, as long as we hit the goal, yeah. So it's going to be really quick because then we want to launch the sign-up list for Pariah's Sanctum of Hate.
Yeah.
So we're trying to push these along so that like we can literally do 1 or 2 campaigns for Doc's titles a year. You know what I mean? So,
Awesome.
one other thing about if you go to the campaign page,
Mm-hmm.
and right before the stretch goals and the audiobook sample, you'll see Jake's business card.
Let's see.
There's actually a working phone number on Jake's business card.
There we go. See, there you go.
Yeah, look at that. He's knocking it out of the park with this. There's sample pages that you can check
great.
out. Yeah.
Page samples.
Yeah. He's really killing it on this book.
Hell yeah. I'm glad I clicked over on the campaign tab. I didn't realize that I was only on the store. But let's see. Sample pages from Blood and Mud. There's the card.
Yeah, so that's a working phone
Actual
number.
Working number. Ha!
If you
Nice.
call up and leave a voicemail asking Jake to take on a case, we're gonna go through all the voicemails live on air and pick a winner and send them some. We haven't figured out what we're gonna send them just yet. Don't dox yourself, but let us know who you are, and we'll reach out and get your personal info. But we have some that are so funny, man, and some of that are actually pretty legit serious. Like you feel like you're actually like getting a phone call for someone like looking to take a case. Like
heck yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And then there's the audiobook sample. So go check this out, guys. The link is in the description of this video. So go check it out. And back this book. Support indie comics, man. Support small businesses. That's what these guys are doing.
Hey, good stuff.
Well, Anthony, I want to thank you for coming to hang out, man. I'm glad we got a chance to talk. I'm excited for you and Doc, and looking forward to seeing what else you guys do. What's up, good stuff? You just in time for the end, for the wrap up. Appreciate you stopping in, man.
Thanks for having me, Luke. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. Thank you, chat. You guys are amazing. And always remember,
Shop smart, shop S-Mart.